Listen to me right now. Stop scrolling. Stop breathing for a second and check your pocket now. Because what looks like a dirty old $1 could be a silent fortune you're about to spend without knowing it. Welcome back to Old Penny Worth. And today we're exposing the top 3 most valuable ultra-rare Sacagawea dollar worth huge money. These are not museum pieces. These are coins people are losing at gas stations, grocery stores, and coffee shops every single day. Do not spend these coins. These coins equal hidden wealth. Nobody talks about these. Collectors are fighting behind closed doors. Real auction shock is happening right now. Each coin in this video gets bigger, rarer, and more dangerous to ignore. Some tiny detail changes everything. Stay till the end because the last one, that one can change your life. These old coins are a treasure worth serious money, and you might already be holding a fortune. Now listen closely. Coin number 1. And now we've arrived at the moment every collector waits for. The moment when curiosity turns into disbelief. The moment when ordinary pocket change suddenly becomes something much more exciting. Throughout this journey, we've explored the history, design, rare varieties, hidden details, and collector demand surrounding the 2000p Sacagawea dollar. But one question has remained in the back of everyone's mind. How much can one actually be worth? Most people assume the answer is simple. $1. After all, that's exactly what the coin says on its face. Millions of Americans saw these golden-colored dollars when they were first released and never gave them a second thought. Some ended up in drawers. Some were tossed into jars. Others disappeared into old collections and family keepsakes. Few imagined that certain examples would someday command prices that seemed impossible for a modern dollar coin. But here's where things get interesting. The vast majority of 2000p Sacagawea dollars remain common. Worn examples found in circulation are usually worth only a small premium over face value. Even attractive uncirculated coins can often be purchased for modest amounts. Yet hidden among those ordinary pieces are a handful of extraordinary survivors that transformed the reputation of the entire series. The first category involves superbly preserved mint state examples. These are coins that somehow escaped scratches, heavy contact marks, dull surfaces, and environmental damage. They retain their original mint brilliance for decades. Collectors competing in registry set programs aggressively pursue these elite specimens because only a tiny number achieve the highest certified grades. What happened next shocked collectors. When several near-perfect 2000p Sacagawea dollars appeared at major auctions, bidding escalated rapidly. Coins certified at the absolute top of the grading scale began selling for thousands of dollars. The difference between an average uncirculated coin and an elite gem sometimes amounted to hundreds or even thousands of times the original face value. Yet those impressive prices were only the beginning. Most people never notice this, but one of the most famous treasures in modern American numismatics started with an ordinary-looking Sacagawea dollar. Today it is known throughout the collecting world as the legendary Sacagawea mule error. A mule error occurs when dies intended for 2 different coins are mistakenly paired together during production. In this astonishing case, the obverse of a Sacagawea dollar was combined with the reverse of a Washington quarter. The result was a coin that should never have existed. When the first examples surfaced, many experts could hardly believe what they were seeing. The combination was so unusual that some suspected fraud. Careful examination eventually confirmed that the coins were genuine United States Mint products. The value may leave you speechless. As collector awareness grew, the Sacagawea mule error became one of the most sought-after modern mint errors ever discovered. Auction appearances attracted national attention. Prices climbed into the tens of thousands of dollars and then continued even higher. Eventually, authenticated examples crossed the auction block for well over $100,000. Some exceptional specimens reached prices approaching or exceeding $200,000, depending on grade, eye appeal, and market conditions. Imagine that for a moment. A coin originally intended to circulate as $1 becoming worth more than many luxury automobiles. And that's not the only treasure associated with the 2000p issue. Another legendary variety emerged from a special promotion involving cereal boxes. Collectors now know these coins as the famous Cheerios dollars. Although they appear similar to standard examples at first glance, the reverse eagle design displays enhanced tail feather detail not found on normal circulation strikes. This tiny detail could change everything. For years, many owners had no idea they possessed something special. The differences are subtle enough that inexperienced collectors often overlook them completely. Yet once the variety became recognized and authenticated, demand exploded. Exceptional Cheerios dollars have sold for thousands of dollars, with the finest certified examples bringing truly remarkable prices. Their rarity, historical significance, and connection to the launch of the Sacagawea Dollar program make them some of the most coveted modern United States coins. As collectors realized just how scarce these varieties were, competition intensified. Auction houses began highlighting them in major sales. Registry collectors fought for the best examples available. Every new appearance generated excitement because opportunities to acquire one remained limited. But perhaps the most fascinating part of this story is that discoveries continue to happen. Even today, collectors examine old coin albums, forgotten collections, inherited estates, bankrupt rolls, and long-neglected boxes searching for hidden treasures. Every year, stories emerge of valuable coins being identified only after decades of sitting unnoticed. That's what makes the 2000p Sacagawea dollar so captivating. Most examples may be ordinary, yet a tiny percentage became modern numismatic legends. Whether it's a superb gem, a rare Cheerios dollar, or the astonishing mule era, these coins prove that extraordinary value can sometimes hide behind the most ordinary appearance. And as unbelievable as these prices sound, the biggest lesson may be even more surprising. The next great discovery could still be waiting in someone's collection right now. Next up. Now comes the question that keeps collectors searching through old coin jars and unopened bank rolls year after year. How much is a 2001p Sacagawea dollar actually worth? The answer depends on one crucial factor that surprises almost everyone: condition. While millions of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the vast majority entered circulation, where they picked up scratches, contact marks, and dull surfaces. Those circulated pieces usually trade for around face value or only a modest premium. But here's where things get interesting. Once a coin survives in exceptional mint state condition, the market changes dramatically. Collectors pay premiums for coins that retain their original mint luster, sharp strike, and clean surfaces. A typical uncirculated 2001p Sacagawea dollar may sell for only a few dollars, but certified examples in higher mint state grades begin attracting serious attention. Coins graded around MS-65 often bring several dollars to several dozen dollars, depending on eye appeal and current demand. As the grade increases to MS-66 and MS-67, prices rise because far fewer coins remain nearly flawless after years of storage and handling. What happened next shocked collectors, as grading populations revealed just how scarce the finest examples really were. At the highest certified grades, competition becomes intense. Registry set collectors, people building the best possible certified collections, often compete for the same tiny population of elite coins. That competition has pushed auction prices for top-grade examples into the hundreds, and in some cases, the low thousands of dollars. These results are not driven by rarity of the date itself, but by the rarity of exceptional preservation. The value may leave you speechless when comparing two coins that appear nearly identical to the untrained eye. One lightly worn example may be worth only $1, while another certified at the highest mint state levels can sell for hundreds or even over $1,000 in a strong market. The difference comes down to microscopic details such as luster, strike quality, contact marks, and overall eye appeal. But condition is only part of the story. Genuine mint errors associated with the 2001p Sacagawea dollar often command much stronger prices than ordinary examples. Off-center strikes showing the complete date, dramatic broad strikes, clipped planchets, and major strike-through errors have all attracted enthusiastic bidding when authenticated by respected grading services. Depending on the severity and visual appeal of the error, these coins may realize several $100s, while particularly dramatic examples can exceed $1,000 at specialized auctions. Most people never notice this, but collectors rarely pay large premiums for damage that occurred after a coin left the mint. Scratches, dents, drilled holes, cleaning, polishing, discoloration, and environmental corrosion almost always reduce value. True mint errors occur during the manufacturing process and display characteristics that experienced specialists recognize immediately. That distinction explains why authentication is so important before assuming an unusual-looking coin is valuable. Another factor influencing auction results is certification. Coins examined and graded by respected third-party grading services generally bring stronger prices because buyers have confidence in the assigned grade and authenticity. Certified coins are easier to compare, easier to insure, and easier to sell. For expensive examples, professional certification often makes a significant difference in final auction value. This tiny detail could change everything if you're searching your own collection. Many valuable 2001 Sacagawea dollars have spent years tucked away in original mint sets, dealer inventory, or carefully stored collections. Coins that avoided circulation stand a much better chance of preserving the brilliant surfaces and sharp details needed to achieve premium grades. Auction records continue to remind collectors of one simple truth. The 2001 Sacagawea dollar is not valuable because every example is rare. It becomes valuable when outstanding preservation, exceptional eye appeal, or a genuine mint error separates one coin from millions of ordinary pieces. That possibility is exactly what keeps collectors searching through old rolls, inherited collections, and forgotten boxes, hoping the next remarkable discovery is waiting just beneath the surface. First glance, the 2001 Sacagawea dollar looks almost identical to thousands of other golden-colored dollars that have quietly disappeared into drawers, jars, and forgotten collections. But here's where things get interesting. While the overwhelming majority are ordinary circulation strikes, a small number escape the Philadelphia Mint with genuine minting mistakes that transform them into fascinating collector pieces. These aren't errors created by damage after the coin left the mint. They are mistakes born during the minting process itself, making them permanent reminders that even the most advanced manufacturing systems are not perfect. One of the most desirable categories is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank planchet is not properly centered between the dies before being struck. The result is a coin with part of the design missing and a blank crescent-shaped area visible along the edge. The more dramatic the off-center strike, while still showing the complete date and mint mark, the greater the interest from collectors. What happened next shocked collectors when some dramatic examples sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, proving that an obvious mint mistake can be far more valuable than a perfectly ordinary coin. Another fascinating error is the clipped planchet. Before a coin is struck, blank discs are punched from long strips of metal. Occasionally, one punch overlaps the edge of another, leaving a curved section missing from the finished blank. When struck, the coin permanently displays this distinctive clip. Because these errors occur before striking, specialists can identify them by characteristic metal flow near the clipped area. Authentic clipped planchet errors are always more desirable than coins damaged after leaving the mint. Strike-through errors also generate considerable excitement. During production, a small piece of grease, cloth fiber, or another foreign object can become trapped between the die and the planchet. When the dies strike, that material blocks part of the design, leaving an unusual recessed area on the finished coin. Most people never notice this because strike-through errors can appear subtle at first glance. However, experienced collectors recognize these unusual imperfections as authentic mint-made varieties rather than post-mint damage. Broad strike errors represent another category that captures attention. These occur when the retaining collar fails to hold the planchet during striking. Without the collar restricting the metal, The coin expands beyond its normal diameter while remaining fully struck. Broad-struck Sacagawea dollars often appear slightly larger and lack the normal raised rim, making them immediately recognizable to knowledgeable collectors. Die cracks and retained die breaks also deserve careful attention. Over time, tremendous striking pressure causes mint dies to develop tiny fractures. Those cracks appear as raised lines on the finished coin because metal flows into the damaged portions of the die. While minor die cracks usually carry modest premiums, larger retained die breaks can become dramatic conversation pieces. This tiny detail could change everything because advanced collectors often seek unusual die states that document the gradual deterioration of a working die. Die chips provide another interesting collectible variety. Small pieces of hardened steel occasionally break away from the die, allowing extra metal to fill the missing space during striking. The result is a raised lump on the finished coin. Although most die chips are relatively minor, unusual locations or larger examples can attract specialists who enjoy studying die progression and production history. As interest in Sacagawea dollars has grown, altered coins have also become more common. Some individuals attempt to create fake errors by grinding edges, adding artificial damage, or modifying genuine coins after they leave circulation. Others use chemicals or tools to imitate striking mistakes. That is why authentication is so important. Reputable third-party grading services carefully examine questionable pieces, distinguishing genuine mint errors from post-mint alterations. Their certification provides collectors with confidence when purchasing valuable specimens. The value may leave you speechless, not because every 2001p Sacagawea dollar is rare, but because authentic mint errors can transform an otherwise ordinary $1 coin into a highly sought-after collectible. Every unusual feature deserves careful examination before being dismissed. Sometimes the smallest imperfection tells the biggest story, and sometimes that tiny detail hiding in plain sight becomes the reason collectors compete so fiercely whenever one appears on the market. Next up, as the excitement surrounding the 2002D Sacagawea dollar continues to grow, collectors eventually reach the question that matters most. What is it actually worth? The answer surprises many people because the value depends almost entirely on condition, rarity, and whether the coin possesses a genuine mint error. A heavily circulated example usually trades for only face value or a small premium, while an attractive uncirculated coin may bring several dollars. But here's where things get interesting. The finest certified examples, graded at the very top of the mint state scale, have sold for hundreds, and in some cases, several $1,000s, because so few survive with flawless surfaces and exceptional luster. Registry set collectors compete fiercely for these top population coins, and that competition can drive prices far beyond what most people expect. What happened next shocked collectors as professional grading services began identifying just how few nearly perfect Denver examples existed. While millions of coins were struck, very few escaped contact marks, bag abrasions, or dulling of their original satin finish. Coins certified in the highest grades have realized impressive auction prices, while ordinary mint state examples remain much more affordable. That enormous difference reminds collectors that preservation matters just as much as rarity. But the real excitement comes from authenticated mint errors. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, struck-through errors, clipped planchets, and dramatic die breaks can command substantial premiums when verified by respected grading services. The value increases with the visibility and severity of the error. Most people never notice this because many errors appear subtle at first glance, yet experienced collectors know exactly what to look for. This tiny detail could change everything if a seemingly ordinary dollar turns out to be a genuine mint-made error rather than post-mint damage. Collector demand remains remarkably strong because the Sacagawea dollar represents the beginning of the golden-colored dollar series introduced for circulation in the United States. The design honoring Sacagawea carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste, has become one of the most recognizable modern American coin designs. Denver mint issues remain an essential part of complete date and mint collections, and demand increases significantly for beautifully preserved examples with full original mint luster. Registry collectors create another layer of demand. These collectors compete for the highest-ranked certified sets, and even a single point difference in grade can separate an ordinary coin from one worth many times more. The value may leave you speechless when a nearly identical coin sells for only a few dollars, while the finest known certified example commands thousands. Hidden details often separate valuable coins from ordinary ones. Collectors carefully inspect the sharpness of Liberty's facial features, the texture of the eagle feathers on the reverse, the clarity of the edge lettering, the strength of the strike, and the originality of the golden color. Cleaning, polishing, scratches, or artificial tunning can dramatically reduce value. A coin with untouched original surfaces is almost always more desirable than one that has been altered in an attempt to improve its appearance. Another detail most people overlook is the importance of authentication. Counterfeit examples and altered coins occasionally appear in the marketplace. Professional certification provides confidence that the coin is genuine, accurately graded, and free from undisclosed problems. That assurance often makes certified examples significantly more desirable than uncertified coins. Finally, experienced collectors know that patience is one of the greatest tools in numismatics. Rather than assuming every golden dollar is valuable, they carefully inspect each coin for exceptional preservation, authentic mint errors, and certification potential. Most 2002D Sacagawea dollars are worth modest amounts, but an exceptional high-grade specimen or a dramatic authenticated mint error can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. That's why collectors continue searching through bank rolls, mint sets, estate collections, and old coin jars. Because every once in a while, an ordinary-looking coin turns out to be anything but ordinary.